Hello everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another Starcraft 2 broadcast. My name is Anaris, and today we're going to be watching MaxZenith, the Red Terran, face off against his opponent, whose name I cannot pronounce, so we will just call him Screaming Ferret. That is his name for this game, Screaming Ferret. And the map Metalopolis, and we do have both of these players spawning about as far away as they darn well can. So we can expect a rather late game here. Maybe some Hellion harassment. Maybe some Speedlings. I think Speedlings are actually very, very preferred on this map. You know, really, map control here is essential. You got to make sure your teammate. You got to make sure your opponent does not expand. Make sure you can pick off any harassing units before they get to your base, and just overall good for scouting. Speaking of scouting, we do have two Xel'Naga watchtowers here in the middle of the map. Got to make sure you control those as well, as they do give vision of both high-yield expansions as well as the other Xel'Naga watchtower. So let's take a look at what Zerg is doing right now, sitting at 13 supply, getting his first drones up as we speak. Meanwhile, you can see the Terran player throwing down a supply depot and a barracks at the top of the ramp, leaving room for another depot or whatever he darn well pleases, and we'll just keep an eye on that as time progresses here. Probably see gas going down in just a minute. We'll take a look at that. Now we do have the extractor going down first for the Zerg player, so I'm gonna throw my money on Speedlings for this game. Like I said, they're so effective because of just the distance between the two players. You've got these long roadways right here, and Speedlings just very much pay for themselves as the game progresses. Even into the late game, they can be pretty darn effective. Now, we do not have the Terran player scouting just yet. Probably going to wait until this building is completed. Let's see if he has any rally points for the SCV set. No, he does not, but he is going to go scout with it. Now, this is actually one thing, I'm just going to cover one quick thing here, that you'll notice a lot of Terran players do when they're playing against a Zerg, and they know they're playing against a Zerg, is they'll send an SCV around right here to scout kind of a wide angle around his base. The reason he's doing that, he's not checking for proxy positions or anything, or any hidden drones or whatever, although that's a good thing to check for. But if the Zerg player is right here, then by the time your barracks is complete, their overlord will most likely be right here-ish. So if you can catch that, you can save yourself a lot of scouting time. You know exactly where they're at, send your SCV right to their base, and you are good to go for the scouting. Now, this is actually going to be a slight problem for the Zerg player, because I don't think he has actually found his opponent yet. No, he has not. Hasn't even sent out a drone, just relying entirely on the overlords right now. And here's the SCV already finding good information, saw that drone heading out. He's probably going to assume that it's an expansion, which would be a correct assumption here. You can see Zergling speed is about 50% complete. Did take off two drones, just wants to make sure he can get as many Zerglings out as possible for map control, which you can see right now is exactly what he is doing. He probably is not going to attack with those 6 Zerglings. I mean, really, they don't have speed. It just would not be a great idea right now. But there are 2 Marines here at the base of the ramp that can retreat to the top if necessary. Got 4 Zerglings coming pretty close to the Terran player. Will he actually see them? It's hard to say. No, it looks like he's actually going to take the wide angle. Oh, but we might have the first blood of the game here. And will the Marines chase the Zerglings? No. Good stuff there. Got to watch out. The Zerglings, of course, if they had kited the Marines away, could have gone back a wide angle. Oh, and the depot goes up, and the scouting is denied. Good last-second catch there by MaxZenith. 2 Hellions have just completed. They will be able to deal with these Zerglings. Look at that right there. Just speedier than Zerglings with flamethrowers. I mean, you can't beat that, man. There's your mid-game map control units versus Speedlings right there. Good counter. So those Zerglings are pretty much, they're still pretty good. I mean, they can keep an eye on the middle of the map. They can still run around, but you do not want to engage those Hellions, man. Those things are all about killing some Zerglings. Roasty toasty style. Command center is being completed over here for the Terran player. Now, this is actually something that is kind of interesting that has worked in the favor of the Terran player. Because of his build, the way he had the Marines at the bottom of the ramp, the Zerg player was not able to get up there and scout at all. That's really all the Zerg player has seen is just the very front of the base there. Look at that. And the Terran player, however, he knows exactly what the Zerg player is doing, so he is going to build accordingly. He knows this expansion's going down, so all he had to really do was get some few Hellions to counter the Zerglings to get map control. And now the Zerg player is just teching up, He's got his evolution chamber. Not getting any upgrades just yet. You see that he's just now getting his second geyser. Doesn't want to be dumping too much gas in those upgrades until he can get his things like the lair. You see he's got the Baneling Nest on the way. Might even see him cap one of these fairly soon, although I wouldn't expect to see not before at least getting some drones on the minerals here, as most of what he's doing right now is going to be rather mineral heavy. But now we got 5 Hellions coming into the main. There is one Queen at the top of the ramp. Hellions are actually trying to kite away the roaches, and realizing that attack is not going to work, is going to retreat. One Hellion, however, is apparently cutting back the high road. Probably just a little bit of a pathing thing there. Not too much to look into for that, as the command center, you can see, is getting ready to land for the Terran player. Hellions are coming into the back where there are a few drones here. There goes 2 of them. One of them took a little bit of damage, not too much though. We see he did lose 1 Hellion in that attack. A couple others are damaged, but on the whole didn't really suffer too great a losses there. I'd say 2 drones for a Hellion. Yeah, you're breaking it about even there. That is if you don't repair the Hellions. So we'll see. The Zerg does have control of 2 Xel'Naga watchtowers. However, these Hellions, I think, will have a few things to say about that. Boom! Zergling is gone! Let's take a look at what the Terran player has here. Just notice this going in the production tab for the last couple minutes while I've been talking. 1, 2, 3 factories. The count would be pleased. And 1 weapons upgrade as well. So I'm kind of looking forward to what's going to come out here, man. I don't see this build too terribly often, more of a mech build. Let's see, we've got, I think I heard a bunker loading up there. There's a bunker or 2 hanging out down there. Good investment. Can obviously recycle it for 100% of the cost later on down the road. I think, as Artosis said, it's a good return policy on that structure. No upgrades still for the Zerg player, but we do have a Spire on the way. And now we're probably going to see some upgrades here coming in the next minute or so once these 2 extractors are saturated. Like I said, still trying to dedicate that gas just to getting his tech up, getting a few defensive units such as roaches. And now you can see he's kind of transferring a few more drones. And now, like I said earlier, this expansion's looking pretty good. Now we're going to expect to see some of those upgrades coming in just a minute or 2. Spire just about complete. There it goes. Hellions are still hanging out here at the Xel'Naga Watchtower, now being repaired. Let's look at the army size here while we're waiting for both these players to engage. Look at that, man. 85 to 76. 86 to 76 now. 1550 to 225. But when you look at the harvester count, it's about even. 41 to 46. Where the difference is, these Thors. These things are very costly units. And right now, he's got 2 more on the way. There are those upgrades we were talking about. Melee level 1, you've got the that Zergling speed upgrade right there. Bunch of Zerglings, and obviously doing a pretty good job of spreading his creep as well. There comes the first mutas across the map. We see there's also some Hellions getting ready to maybe make a run at the natural expansion for the Zerg player. While these Hellions are way out of position, Hellions will actually meet up with the 2 Thors right there, taking a lot of damage. They're going to have to get out of there. 1 almost died. Hellions did try to come in here and do some damage, but like I said, good placement on the Queen. Not really going to see anything going past it there on the ramp. Mutas are going to be coming back here, where they may get some free kills on the SCVs working on the gas. Will they target those first? It looks like he's just going to go for the mineral line. He might even get the mule, but no, that probably wouldn't be the best idea, because there is 1 Thor there doing a lot of damage. Now he's flying right into the missile turret, where there's another Thor waiting, pushing the mutas all the way back. So much damage taken right there, especially with the bunker there to finish off one of them. Look at those things. They are way bruised up. You do not want to use those for any sort of engagement here in the near future. Zerg is continuing to expand, wants to stay 1 base up on his opponent, as we do have more Hellions running around the middle of the map here. I like this Marine just patrolling back and forth, man. It's so simple, but so effective. Oh, will he get them? Oh, man, I thought for a second he was going to get this Muta right here. Saw one health bar on it, but not quite able to do it. 5 mutas, even if they're all very low in hit point, well, most of them, still very, very damaging force. Got the Hellions getting ready to come up here in the expansion. Where they encounter the Zerglings, may get some free kills there. Couple are dying very quickly, lining up there for a shot, and did lose 3 of them. Did decide to retreat, though, because he saw the roaches. Obviously, roaches are very good at countering Hellions, especially if you can get them on the creep. That's when you really want to get him there. And Thor getting a free kill. I bet he's proud of himself, kind of strutting his stuff there. Well, I think we know what was going to happen with that encounter. Hellions versus mutas. Hellions lose. Still doing a good job spreading the creep. You can see it's now connected with the third hatchery here. Zerg running off of 3 bases right now. Terran looking like he's going to make a move. We have him moving out. Good number of Thors, siege tanks, Marines, and even a couple of Hellions running way up, taking some damage. Probably could have not had that happen, but whatever. It's okay. It's just a Hellion. We can maybe expect to see more, hopefully here in the near future. Maybe even with the flame upgrade. He certainly does have the tech labs to do that. You can see right now he is producing 2 siege tanks and a Thor. A couple Marines as well. Zerg is getting to position at the top of the ramp. Nice number of Banelings there. Siege tanks are setting up somewhat staggered formation. Probably could stand to be a little bit more spread out. But he doesn't really have the anti-air coverage to make them too spread out. So he's going to have to keep them a little bit closer together like he is. Moving up just a little bit, keeping the Thors in front. Probably wants to try to catch any initial meter harassment off guard and maybe absorb some of these Banelings, which I think he's going to do. Look at that, so many Banelings on one Thor. The second and third are now dead because of the Zerglings and Roaches, but the Siege Tanks and Marines are still left in position, holding the bottom of the ramp here, allowing the Terran to maintain his foothold on this base. Siege Tanks are moving up. Roaches are actually coming in when the Siege Tanks are not sieged up. Look at this great play, able to come in exactly when the Terran is not ready for the attack. Siege tanks